Assalamu alaikum, my name is Taimur Sikandar and welcome back to the next part of the city guide application. In this part we are going to create the all categories page. So let's run our application, and the first one is the splash screen, and then we have the dashboard with some card views. And if you don't know how to create that, I already created the video on this, you can better watch that. Okay, inside the menu when we are going to click on this all categories, then we are going to be redirected to the categories page. In here you can see we have the categories with some different designs with some card views and the images inside it. So inside we are going to learn how to use or how to place the image like this, like the first one, and also how to create such card views, the second one, and then so on and so forth. It's a very simple video. Okay, so let's get started. Open the Android Studio project, and this one is the project we are currently working on, which is the city guide application. And in the previous video we have created this navigation drawer with some animations. Okay, so to create our categories page we have to move to the Java, and inside as you guys know, we have created the folders. If you don't know how to create such folders, you can check the video, link is in the description, or you can click on the right top corner. So as this is for the user can see all these categories. So inside the users, right click new and create a new activity, select empty activity and name it all categories and click finish. To remove this error, press Alt Enter and select import class. Okay, we are not going to do anything with the Java file, so close it for now and close this dashboard as well. Okay, we are in the XML file of all categories activity we have just created. So move to the split section, and in here first of all change this constraint layout to scroll view. We are using scroll view because our categories are more than the needed one on the current screen, so we need scroll view. Okay, inside the scroll view basically supports only one child, so it can be any layout. So I am going to use the linear layout because we are going to place things stack from one above other, so that's why I am using the linear layout. Width will be match parent and height will be wrap content. It should be wrap content in the scroll view all the time. And inside this linear layout, let's add some margin 10 dp to add some space. Okay, this linear layout will contain everything of our design. So inside this linear layout, first thing I am going to use relative layout, as most of the people know who are following my tutorials that relative layout is pretty easy to handle the objects or the elements inside it. So width will be match parent and height will be, because I am going to add a back button and also a search button, so it can be the action bar size height, so it will contain the size of the height of the action bar size. Okay, inside this relative layout we need two image views with wrap content, width and height. Now add a source, add a padding so it can be easily clickable, 15 dp, and you can see it is placed right at the middle. So again, for to make it more middle, we will say center vertical true. If in case it is not in a vertical position, vertical center, then it will be centered by this line. And close this one. Again we need to add another image view, so copy this one and paste it. So before changing the source, we want to place it to the right side, so we will write right, and you can see we have Android layout, align parent right and make it true. So you can see the icon is placed over there, so change its source to search icon, and there we go. So we have created our first section, relative layout. Close this one, press Alt Ctrl L to align the code. Okay, our first section is created. There is one thing missing. We need to add its background color. So inside the parent layout, I am going to add a background color. It's the light white color. So this color we are going to use. Okay, first section is created. Now for the second section, if you guys want to create the heading, then for the demo purpose I am going to create its heading as well. So let's create a text view, as we are using the linear layout, and this linear layout will automatically place things in a stack. So we forgot one thing, the orientation of this linear layout, because by default it's going to add things horizontally. So let me show you. First, text should be wrap content width and height, and the text is going to be categories, then add its size 30 sp. Then we have to add a font family, and it is going to be one we are using. As you can see, the text is not appearing on the design section because, and we have a red line over here. This is because we haven't defined its orientation, so it is vertical, and there we go, we have a text. Close this one, and we need to add some, make the text size to 36 and add some padding 10 dp, and we want to change it to the all caps, so all the alphabets should be in capital. So text all caps should be true for this. And now we can change, reduce the text size. We have categories. Okay, if you want to add this, it's up to you. If you don't want to add it, you can simply remove this, as it is a linear layout. So the first box, then we have a second box, you can say, and after this whatever we will add will be placed beneath these categories, so we don't have to do anything here. So the next thing is we are going to create our first card, the first category, you can say. So for the first category, I am again going to use the relative layout. Width will be match parent, and height is going to be 150 dp. There you can see we have a box. Okay, now inside this relative layout, the first thing is I want to add a background. So I have created these backgrounds with their curved corners. So you can create them in Photoshop, or you can ask me, I will send you as well if you need them. Okay, the first thing we want to add is a text view with wrap content width and height, and the text is going to be current text size going to be 30 sp. Then we have a font family, and I am going to use the one with the value name. Okay, now add some padding around it, 25 dp, and close this one. Okay, now we need to create a button over here with wrap content width and height, and its text is going to be expand all. To make things background transparent, you can say 00, you can write 00 and then 3 or 6 or the complete code of anything with 2 zeros, so it will make them transparent. Okay, now we want to place that button below, but before that let me add some padding, 20 dp. To place it at the bottom, we will say align parent bottom true, and it will automatically be placed at the bottom. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is we want to add an image over here. Okay, let's add an image view with 150 dp width and height, then adds its source, and the source is going to be categories car icon, and we want to place this icon to the right side, so we will say align parent right true, and there we go. Okay, now the thing is we want to place this image above this icon, but if I am going to do this by adding margin top with some minus padding, let's suppose minus 100 dp or anything, you can see the image is invisible or we cannot see that image, it's basically gone beneath this relative layout. So to show this image on the top of this card, what we can do is, this is basically, you can say, a trick. Let me reduce it to -50 dp. Okay, cut this image from here. To achieve this thing, we need to add some extra space around it and paste that image inside that other layout. So as you can see, we have this relative layout, this one, but we need space around it. So for that, let me create another relative layout, and you will understand easily what's going on. Let's make it match parent, and this time it will be 190 dp. Okay, inside I am going to paste that image we have created. It's there, we go. And the layout, the relative layout we have created, cut it, and make sure you should paste this relative layout above this image inside this relative layout. And okay, now open this, and now here we want to add some margin, and it will be 15 or 20 dp. Okay, now when I added the margin, I added the extra space around it, then our design, the image is inside basically this layout, and let's make it -40 dp. And now you can see the image is inside the layout, which is having the more height 190 dp and the inner height is 150 dp. So this is why, because I have added the margin of 20 dp, 20 from the top and 20 from the bottom, to make it equal, to make them balance. I have added 190 dp as a height of the parent relative layout of its box. So by this technique we can add the images. Okay, we have created our card with this design, so let's get going with another design. So again, let's add the relative layout with match parent. Height is going to be 150 dp, not the wrap content. Okay, for now let's add a margin, as we added the 20 dp around this one, so let it be 20 dp as well. You can see it is matching by the size. Okay, inside this relative layout, first thing we need to add a background. Categories, restaurant background, again I have created them. Okay, first thing we need to create an image view with width is going to be 120 dp and height is going to be match parent, so the image can cover from top to bottom because we don't want to overlay this image. And let me add its source first. It's a restaurant icon, and there we go. Let's add some margin left, 20 dp, to add some space, and close this one. Okay, now we need to add the text views. Let me copy these both text views from here inside this relative layout. First one the text view, and second the button, and paste it inside this current layout. Okay, currently it's black. Let me add its color as well, which is the black one, and also its color as well, text color and color black. Okay, now let's change its color first, and this time it's going to be white, and I want to place it at the right side. So right parent, align parent right, and make it true. It will be at the right side, and copy this one and do same with this one. We need to change its color as well, and it is going to be white. Okay, that's it for this card view. As you can see the difference, in this card view we don't have to do anything else. This was a simple one with a background, then an image and two text views, but this one was a little bit tricky. So now it's up to you guys if you want to follow this one, or if you want to follow the both one. So to create the next parts, let's minimize them, and after this text view I am going to incorporate this one. Simply copy it and paste it below. Now we need to change its background first. Okay, one more thing before copying it, we haven't added some background over here, but if we want to add the elevation or the shadow behind this card view, it will pop up and the image will disappear by default. We can add the shadow. There might be some other ways, or there are many ways to add the shadow, but by using this technique we cannot add the shadow inside this relative layout, the first one which is having the image. But in the second card view we can add the shadow by writing this elevation in here, but I am not going to write the elevation because it only supports the API level 21. But instead of that I am going to use the card view. So it is again a very simple thing. Let's add a card view here, and this card view is going to be match parent and wrap content, and close it. Now inside this card view let's paste the relative layout, this back one, inside this card view, and you can see we have some white stuff over there. So now we want to remove this color. So to remove this color we will say background, use this one, card background color, and it should be we don't have transparent color, so again use 00 and then any color code you want. So this is the black one. Okay, but this way our card color will be gone, but currently it's not appearing, but when we run our application it will be gone. Okay, now the next thing we want to add is the elevation. So write ELE and we are going to use the app colon card elevation. So this is the reason I am not using the elevation inside any other layout, but we are using the card view instead. So it should be 8 dp. To show this animation, open the relative layout and let me cut this margin from here and paste it inside this card view, and now our shadow will automatically be added. Okay, let's close this card view, and now we have the first relative layout and then we have the second card view. Okay, let me copy this and paste it here. Let me change text and the image. Okay, I have changed its image and color as well, and also the background. So close this one and let me copy this one again from the card view. There we go. Place it at the bottom. Let me change, you can see this one, and let me change it as well. As we have added a scroll view, that's why our design is scrollable. Okay, I have changed its image and background color with the text as well, and this is the design we have achieved. So this is the technique we can use. You can place this image at the left and you can change them over here, but I am using this pattern. So let me simply copy them, these 4 card views once again, to make the design scrollable. Okay, now the last thing to run this application, we have to call this from our menu, and we want to make sure that on this click our activity will be jump back to the main screen or the main user dashboard. So click on this image and let's assign its ID, and it is going to be back pressed. Make sure it is underscore, not the hyphen. When the user click on this back pressed, what we want to do is open the Java file, and in here first thing is create its variable. It was an image view, so back btn, let's add hook, and this back btn dot, so it's is equal to find view by id dot id dot back pressed. Now when the user click on this back button dot set on click listener, new view dot, or you can press control space, so write view dot on click listener and it will automatically do this. Inside this on click we are just going to call super dot on back pressed. That's it. This is the name of our activity, and when this function is called, when this method or the user click on this back button, it will automatically check what is inside the stack of the activities and it will jump back to the previous activity. So that's it. Close this one, and inside the user dashboard, let me find our navigation item, select it. Okay, now inside this navigation item select, as we have created in the previous tutorial our navigation item, and we haven't do anything with the button on click of the navigation item. So when the user click on this navigation item, what we want to do is, so to make them clickable, we will going to use a switch statement which will say item dot get item ID. So it will get the item ID from all the items list. Okay, so inside this switch we are going to use case. The first case is r dot id dot navigation underscore all categories. If this button is going to be pressed from the navigation drawer, then what we want to do is add a colon at here, and inside we are going to call intent. Intent is equal to new intent, because this is an activity, so we are using the intent. Get application context, and the next activity is all categories dot class and start activity and pass intent in it. That's it. Or the shortest way is this is the normal method everybody is doing, but the shortest is not the semicolon, simply cut this one and inside this intent pass it here, and that's it. We don't need to create any variable, so simply start activity and write new intent, then the calling activity, and then the called activity over here. So that's it. Alt Control L to align the code. Okay, one more thing we have missed is we need to call the break statement at the end of each case. So now let's run our application. Okay, after splash screen we are in the dashboard, and let's open the navigation menu, and inside we have the all categories. And yes, when we clicked on this, we have moved to our categories page, and you can see it is scrollable, and we can scroll it from the top to bottom, and the all categories will be here. So that's it for this tutorial. If you want to remove this top bar, we can simply go to the all categories, and in here let me copy it from this one, copy and paste this line inside this super dot on create, or after this super dot on create, and click OK to edit, and it will simply remove the status bar from the top. So that's it for this tutorial. If you learned something new, please like the video, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe it, because now we are going to pick up some speed, and we are going to create or to complete the series as soon as possible. Sorry for the delay. So thank you for watching again. Take care. Allah Hafiz.